Welcome everyone, this is The Exit. I'm going over a game called The Total Battle. It's a mobile game that I downloaded because of an ad. And this is how it starts off. You choose between this guy or this girl as your hero. And then there's this bit of intro that doesn't last. The rest of the game isn't like this. It only starts off this way. Now, you may recognize this from the ads, and this is why I downloaded the game. You shoot the barrels, you know, add people to your army, maybe even some speed to your shooting, and when you watch the ads, normally they do well and then they fail because, it's the draw. You get frustrated when you watch it and go, oh, I could do so much better than that. So yeah, so that was the pull. I got drawn in because of that gameplay. So if anybody wants to read any of these things that are going on, they're gonna have to slow down the video to watch it, to read it. But otherwise, it's all kind of just nonsense. Here's another side quest. I'm gonna call it side quest shooting of barrels and army men and creatures. But I get ahead of myself here with the creatures. There's no reason to give any tips to this because if you ever download this game, you'll only be able to enjoy this for so long. After that, the game shifts entirely to something else, and I will get into what that something else is. Here you start to see some form of kingdom building where you use some resources to rebuild stuff. Now, this is true to the rest of the game, minus the minor details that are going on here. So we're back to one of these, shooting the barrels, shooting army men, shooting these walls that hurt you if they're still red and add to you if they're blue. It is somewhat strategic, but unlike in the ad, if any of those troops or monsters actually reach you and touch you and stuff, it doesn't really hurt you. You can shoot them until all your army men die, which is pretty much one at a time. Now here's a saving a captain quest that's involved, and you'll be doing that until you clear the cloud from the entire little kingdom area. And the game consists of more of this barrel shooting type stuff. And it's a nice setup to the future of the game, which involves collecting more captains. Or just speed this up. This is not normally how you obtain captains. I'll show you later how to do so. And in this little quick showing, I'll show you that you don't die when the boss hits you. You will eventually, but anyway. Let's go to the heroes up in the top left. Heroes and captains area. Now I'm going to add a captain. And I'm going to pick the one I just saved because that's what I have to do. Back out. There's going to be chapters or levels or whatever you want to call them. Things to do in this game. They're going to have me free up another captain. Again, this is temporary. This isn't the way it actually goes. Now, building more stuff. This is essential to the game. I'm going to build a few things. Just skipping right to it. Capital is your main building. I unlocked the ability to spend money. It's also a captain that you can only get by using money in the game. That is a monster or a demon to obtain silver. And again, barrel shooting. This part again was my favorite part of the game, but wasn't meant to be. Roll that cloud. Up here is where you do more of those barrel shooting events. And as you can see, actually I'll just do one first. Note how it looks. Note how involved it is and how the shooting is, and you take this path, you get those kind of prizes as well as all these other things, which I guess I'll explain to you later. And this is now. That was then, this is now. Now everything is broken up, and because I've done it already, and there's no more. They never refresh it. But I'll go back to the demon invasion thing and show you how different that is. So now what was barrel shooting is just this math obstacle course. Not nearly as fun. And you get 6 a day. They did keep the demon, but if you have a troop of 80, you can't lose no matter what you choose when it comes to facing the demon, as you'll see. I was already in an unlosable situation there, so. And the prizes are significantly less as well. So that's what it devolved to. And it was pretty sudden. I'm not sure what level I got to when that happened, but all this is just gone. It's a dead part of the game that says we'll be back with updates. And it's evidently, it says that for the past year, maybe more. This is my kingdom now. I'm somewhere in the 40s. The capital tops off at level 45, and that's the highest you can get. Here are my troops in the city. And there's monsters, mercenaries, heroes, captains, and troops. I'll go through these a bit later. This area of my kingdom does nothing. Those are some of my farms, all level 24. Some more resource buildings, plus more farms and training facilities. So that's what I need to upgrade it to level 25. Those blueprints on the bottom right are a hassle to obtain. You got to use your gold. You get very little of it otherwise, and it's essential to getting past segments of 5s and updating these buildings. Let me claim some things here, some iron and lumber and stone. As you can see, those are my resource buildings. They're all at the point where they need more blueprints. This farmer's house is more advanced. It's one level from being topped out, and I have to get the capital to level 45 first. Now to my main barracks, which is where I train my troops and monsters. Again, got to get to level 45 in my temple this time. And this is where I hire everybody. Now, because of the artwork, I'm going to show you all these cool monsters and the lesser cool other things. But these are the top guys that I've unlocked. And anybody who really wants to see the stats can slow down or pause the video. If you do, you're going to be looking at it for a while. Very cool artwork. For those wondering, I don't know if any of this is AI or not. So I can't answer that question. So all the monsters below these 4, these unlocked troops that are on my best troops, this is in order of worst to best. I don't know why they do it this way. Because of how the fight system is in this game, you want to include your lower ranked creatures and troops, but not all your lower ranked troops. It's a very complicated system, and I'll show you later how it's worked out. But it's like a pyramid effect. You want your expendables to have a larger number, and your harder hitting warriors, beasts, monsters, even mercenaries to attack in smaller numbers. And when it comes to reviving any killed army men of yours / monsters, it is cheaper to revive or heal the monsters as opposed to the troops, because the troops will have a larger amount. These catapults are for attacking other people's castles. Also used to attack citadels. Citadels are all over the place on the kingdom map. They're not controlled by any other players. They pop up randomly, and they consist of other monsters. Those specialists are good against other players, whether you're attacking another player's castle or they're attacking your castle and you have these specialists sitting in your kingdom. You're better defended because they do double damage against another player. Their value as far as the attack pyramid in this game equals that of regular troops. The Lion Rider is the closest representation of a mounted trooper or armyman. Vultures are flyers. Everybody has their own specialty. Spies are good for if you are not attacking another player's kingdom, but sending, I guess, a spy to see what that kingdom consists of, because otherwise you just see buildings and you don't really know what's in the building. It could be well defended, it could be not well defended, it could have a lot of resources that you could plunder in attacking, it could have no resources. When you send a spy, you could see what's in there without sacrificing a lot, and the better the spy, the more is revealed to you. Spies do, however, kill other spies. So you could attack and lose all your spies, and I believe you'd still be able to see everything that's in that kingdom. These are your guardsmen. This is the most important thing you can obtain in this game. I'm at a level 7 right now. There are levels beyond 7, as you could have seen. They hit a lot harder, and they have a lot more stamina or health as you level them up. And the higher level that you unlock of guardsmen, the better reward you get, and everything else that you do. If you're fighting epic monsters or whatever, if you're doing events like the Omens or Olympus or Ragnarok, all those things, the rewards are magnified because of the guardians that you unlock. Even in Seasonal Kingdom, which is kind of like doing this game from scratch, sort of, with an alt account for like a 3-month period in order to get other artifacts or captains that you could only get from the Seasonal Kingdom. And it's very much both a spend event and a grind event, and it's very demanding. Note how I do not have any level 1 to level 4 of any of these guardsmen because they become obsolete after you unlock higher levels. Also note the amount of silver it takes to train these guys. Silver is very important later on for training. Let me collect some things like I do all the time throughout the game. And here's one of my mansions that produces silver at level 39, and makes a decent amount. Here's one at 44, almost leveled up completely, and it seems like a lot of silver. It really isn't. Now let's look at my caravan. This is how I send troops to other players on my team. Tar Workshop, that's how I create stuff to go crypting, which you'll see later. Consulate. I mean, yeah, it's whatever. Forge, you build lots of things in the forge. Pretty much armor. These are enchantments. These help the armor. They strengthen them in certain ways. They're all these are different. The enchantments and the stones are exactly the same. You could just use both on a single object. I've never had to disenchant into dust. I've never dusted anything. So anybody who's played this game could figure that out. This is how you combine lower levels. A 4 of 1 makes one of them larger. That's one of the ways you can combine them all the way up to the topmost, which is all the way on the right. As you can see, I have some that I just never used or never spent. So another thing you can get from the Seasonal Kingdom is good armor. Armor that lasts you practically forever. Lasted me forever, but that's because I didn't play that long. Here's my city gates and walls, and they're essential to have built up if you don't live in a bubble and continuously attack and get attacked by other players. Otherwise, it's kind of not that important to have these. I mean, you can get rid of them, but that is nothing. I don't know if that was ever anything. The temple is where you heal. Potions do a decent amount of healing. You kind of want them in the thousands, like hundreds of thousands. Portal Master, you can set up portals in the, around to get to places quicker and from places quicker, but you can't put them in other territories. This is a summoning station here. This is how you get a majority of your captains. There are a few that you can get in other ways. Like currently there's a Pharaoh event going on right now where you can get Pharaoh. This is my farmer's house, nearly ranked up all the way. And the academy, which is where you learn things. And by learn things, I mean how you acquire your guardsmen, how you buff up other things like your portal time, your portal amounts, and so many other things. I'm not going to click into these individually. Everything increases by percentage. The percentages in this game are ridiculous. Obviously the grade ones I didn't obtain. As you'll see, as I'll show you later, the statistics for all the things unlocked in the academy, and by leveling up captains or by using armor, and some armor isn't even for the strength of your fighting, it's for like to produce more food or other resources or tar or for better exploration in a crypt. There's a lot of breakdowns you can see here. Army mods, it's just it's insane. And yeah, the percentages are ridiculous when you look at them. I don't know how they really factor in. I mean, by percentage, obviously, but it makes the base numbers seem so minimal in comparison. So, as you can see, I've unlocked some captains this way too. But I've finished Guardsman 1, and later on in Guardsman 2 will be, I think, level 7 that I've unlocked. Or I may have not unlocked one of them. I don't remember. I am now almost a month removed from this game because I've just had too much. I went so deep into this game that wasn't what I wanted when I first started playing it. It was enjoyable up to a certain point. I mean, it's still enjoyable, but it's just so involved. And I wanted more time off my phone. I understand I could play this on the PC, but it's way less convenient for me. Archaeology is everything involving crypting. There's also mining in this game, which is good, but it's so time consuming that it's practically not worth it. I understand a lot of high-end players do quite a bit of mining, and you can get attacked while you're at the mine. And if you're not paying attention, you lose everything that you minded. This blacksmithing stuff is for the forge. I didn't unlock everything. So I never really gotten beyond what I have in Guardsman and Specialists. I didn't even finish the first one. You can't start the second one without finishing the first one, obviously. I've been told you want to rank up your monsters and your Guardsmen evenly. Like, as much as the same time as possible. So back to the forge. I'm going to go through the things that I can make. Again, very involved. Starting from the bottom, this stuff is like the most difficult stuff to obtain. I don't remember how to get this stuff. I think you can get it through special events or through epic monster events or whatever. There's a lot of different epic monsters that come in daily or bi-daily or weekly or monthly. I will point it out when I see it later. But this is well organized. These all do the same thing. Every one of these have the same benefit. The reason why there's different pieces that all do the same thing in each one of these sections is because the hero, not the captains, but the hero has armor slots that can only be filled by a particular type of armor. Helmet for helmet, boots for boots, shield for shield, weapon for weapon, and so on and so forth. The captains get half of the amount that they could wear, and it could be just random. Doesn't make a difference. I mean, they have slots there with pictures for like helmet and shield and boots, but you can put whatever and whatever. It doesn't really make a difference. If it does make a difference, then that has been beyond my knowledge. Again, if you play this game, feel free to leave comments. Maybe there's something I've been missing all this time when equipping armor for my captains. And depending on the captain and depending on what you're doing, the armor makes sense. For instance, if I were to go and crypt, I would use some of the higher ends here, and I would put it on my best crypting captain. And yes, there is such thing as a best crypting captain. All the captains have their strong points. There's no weak points for any of these. It's just they specialize in a certain thing, and if they don't, you're not going to want to use that captain for that specific thing. You're going to want to use a different captain. So it does make a difference to obtain all the captains. I would say the captains that you would need, but no, pretty much all the captains. There is a Hall of Fame section in this game that having all the captains and ranking them up in groups by number, by class, gives you additional hit points, well, percentage-wise, and so on and so forth. I will show you more of that when we get to it. But yeah, we're still here in the forge, looking at the armor. That stuff better suited for specialists. That's if you, let's say, don't have a shield up and you have one of your captains mining and you're not really playing the game but doing other things. You might want to keep some specialists in your kingdom with a specialist captain, so if you ever get attacked, you have the armor for that guy, you're well suited. Here's my capital. Again, it takes other things to rank up my capital. The gold ingots are specifically for the king of the kingdom, which I am not. Let's go back into this and look at my statistics. World map bonus is pretty much where I am positioned, and I get certain bonuses depending where I am. This is for silver. Again, 10 barracks, so construction and reacher speed and troop training speed is high up there. It almost doesn't really seem to, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. City walls, again, those numbers are just astronomical. I am low in my food production because I don't have the right armor on my characters. Now, if I tap on any of these up here, I'm going to get a different screen of resources, one that's more full. And you will see that there are other important things like valor and conquest points, which helps me get to certain levels in the academy and dragon coins, which helps me hire monsters, and master coins for different armor, and tar for all types of tar for exploring. That down arrow is going to show me the progress where other people are at, whether it's research or building or my troops or whatever. As you could see, there's lots of things, daily jobs. That's a help button. I do that for my alliance mates. It quickens anything they're doing. Now here are the tournaments. There's Trial Olympus, and that's the most current event. Slow things down if you want to see what that's about. That's one of the monsters in the event. Hellforge. This is where I would get points to make some of these. Or not points, but tokens. This is a monthly thing, the Triumphal Challenge. And yes, the two on the left are under or behind paywall. Of course, I think one is 20 and one is an additional 40. And if you're a spender in this game, this is probably the only place you would spend, because you get gold, and that gold goes pretty far away for other things in this game, including reviving, which you really shouldn't. In the shop, you'll see where you can get a few other things just from getting scrolls. Here's where, when you defeat anybody, you get armor and missions and rankings. Again, if you really want, you could slow down this video and look at it, pause things. It's up to you. This is the only way you can obtain Hercules, is by spending money. This game pretends to be a free-to-play game with certain captains. You do much better in this game. So the Pharaoh's Bazaar, this is how you get Pharaoh, who is not that great, as you can see there. And tokens to get Pharaoh. Tokens to level up your dragon. This is just helps you with your experience points. But it's definitely an alliance-based event. This helps you rank up your captains. And more captain obtaining things. I don't do battle training, really, because I don't fight other players. There's Doomsday. There's just so many other things here that happen throughout the month that help you to get points and to lose your troops and to spend resources in order to level up. Ragnarok is one of the biggest events in this game, along with Omens and the Olympus. As you can see, I have unspent stuff that I've obtained. And I hope you can tell from the rewards what kind of things are important, like silver and experience points and valor, especially. Now, down here, this is a bunch of other options. Journal is where your battle logs and exploration logs occur or go. I saved certain things that I liked to save. Otherwise, it backs up and you'll have to scroll and delete things one at a time. So saved is good. Like, for instance, that's the one epic monster that I beat. It's not that easy to beat an epic monster, and I'll show you more about that later. Now under clan, that's my clan, Purple People Eaters. I could claim chests all at once, or one at a time. And under triumphant gifts, that's where you or somebody else in your clan spends money, and other gifts will be obtainable from there. In this case, there's none. These are all clan buildings. I didn't get to build any of these, but they all have their own uses. Raid is when you and other clansmen attack other things. This is where you see other members having their portals open. You don't want to get attacked through your portals. Here are some of my members. I'm going to miss these two specifically. Gal is awesome. My strawberry blonde. And my hot goth mama Luna. My heart goes out to you guys. The rest of my team, sorry if I didn't mention you guys specifically. You're all pretty cool to play with. There are alt accounts here from Seasonal Kingdom that have been carried over to this kingdom. So I was not in the Seasonal Kingdom thing alone. However, I did get a late start on it. I started a week behind everybody else because the game somehow locked me out. But when I reached out to the game, eventually they got me in through an update, which was cool, but it made everything more hectic. You can have up to 100 players in your team, depending on your clan buildings, I believe. I don't really know. So up here, VIP. You don't have to spend for VIP. I'm at level 18. I'm not going to go through the levels. Down here, my bonuses. Royal bonuses, I got nothing to do with because I'm not royalty. Titles, I got nothing to do with because I'm not friends with anybody who is royalty. People actually get on a senate in this game per kingdom, island, and they elect a king ruler. And this goes on for, I think, a month at a time. And it takes a lot of grinding. And a lot of attacking other people. And they have rules and stuff like that that the rest of the kingdom follows. And I'm not part of any of that. Clan bonuses, I don't have anything to do with that either. Personal though, however, you'll see I have an abundance of stuff tacked on because you can't lose the items and it just kind of takes up space. So I apply it because, why not? This costs money, but it's greatly beneficial. I think it's around for 7 days at a time. And now to the Hall of Fame. Now, if you have all your players, you get up to a certain level, you get things like health and strength and authority and all that good stuff. Construction, research speed. Yeah, that's important for when you're building your kingdom. And then this bottom section here is overall, that's the level of each one of those things. Now, in statistics, you'll see how ridiculous these numbers are. Look at those percentages. I mean, I don't know who really keeps track of all this. You barely notice the change as you upgrade. But it all adds up, I suppose. Frames you get through the monthly quests and other quests like Omen, perhaps Olympus, but not Ragnarok. And they grant you, it doesn't matter which one you have, as soon as you apply it, you get permanent strength or permanent health. These are the cool ones. I actually like these. And it looks that way on your map when you're outside of your kingdom. So if you're looking at the property of your alliance or wherever else, you'll see a bunch of these kind of buildings, plus ones that I don't have, but these are the ones that I do have, obviously. And much like the frames, it benefits your health or your strength. Now the talents. When you rank up your captain, right now is that lady, you could put talents to these specific tactics, and they would increase a variety of things. So take a look. Each point is a percentage, not 1%, 2%, but it jumps up to like, it goes from I think 0.1 to 0.5 to like 2.5, and in some cases 45%, depending on how far down this ability tree you go. The further down you go, the higher the percentages are when you add the talent points to it. But if you only concentrate on the lower stuff, you will find yourself having a lot of talent points, and it certainly helps to level up some of the lower things, because in this game every little bit counts. I have my economy stuff completely maxed out in the academy, so I picked and chose which of these were important as I went along, and it is more of an account overview at this point. Again, a lot of time went into this game that I wasn't planning on putting into this game, and I don't want it to be a complete and total loss, so take a look at all that I've done. If you're into this kind of thing, which you might be, play this game. So, experience per captain, per hero. These are my hero avatars. They all have different quirks. I didn't like her. I always got a crappy gift. She's good for traveling. He's good if you aren't fighting with a hero and captains. If I just dismiss my captain's fight with my hero, I get a nice bonus. It needs to two people you start with. They don't do anything. There's no bonuses at all. But I finally got her, and I like redheads, so she's in there. Now, these are my artifacts. I'm going to level them up as I go, but each artifact has its own bonus, and each level of the artifact has an additional bonus. And these fragments, unspent fragments, can you use to shuffle these bonuses, whether it's all three or one or two, and the less you're shuffling, the more fragments it uses. It's kind of a weird system. But beyond that, there's also leveling up, as I'll show you in a second. The artifact itself, which gives its own little bonus. Torch of Olympus is a great artifact for Carter to explore in the crypts. The lantern is great against epic monsters, given to Hercules, who's great against epic monsters. And that was good for mining. I'm just going to top it off. So, again, I could change those if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. Overall strength and health. Good artifact overall. Don't really use this one. I do use this one sometimes. This is one of the best artifacts in the game. You kind of want to keep this in your kingdom, so this captain doesn't leave the kingdom, and it increases food production and troops training speed, and as you can see, it's just great on her especially. Helen of Troy. A lot of these artifacts I don't use, but I leveled them up because it doesn't cost me to. By leveling up, I mean using fragments to bring up their star value. I don't actually level them up. That'd be a waste of my level up. But I suppose that players that play this game real slow could benefit using a lot of those purple ones. That is an artifact I did not get during the Seasonal Kingdom. It wasn't as good as the other one, the Heart of the Forest. This is by far the best in the game. And I'm just going to add a whole bunch of artifact experience or level to it because it's that good. As you can see, the army strength I get from it. That goes in my best captain. Farhad is good for research, she's good for building, and she's good for my troops. Now we're going to go through my captains. She's the one that we saved in the beginning of the game. She's good for valor points. She's good for mining. Those are his armor. Crypting. That's his armor. Again, a lot of these don't get used at all. I used to use her before I got any of my epic captains or good captains. I kept calling Ramses Pharaoh. She's good for group raids and group attacks. I was using him for a while too before I got any of those. But Hercules is definitely one of the best, especially against epic monsters. And Beowulf is the best in this game. And some looks at his equipment. Again, it's the kind of thing that jewels do and that enchantments do. Just browsing the equipment I have that's not being used currently. The reason why that gold helmet wasn't on him is because it was on my hero at the time when I needed it to be. And there's a crown that I use early in the game that I didn't realize I could never get again. If I knew that, I would have worn it. But it's garbage now. Just left in my pile of stuff I used to have. But You learn your lesson the hard way. Skady and Heimdall are both from the Seasonal Kingdom. Neither are as good as Beowulf. So that's my team if I'm going to go fight an epic monster. Those are my guys. Let me throw some equipment on her. So now I can go take the 3 of those out and fight an epic monster that would require 3 captains. This is my dragon Ilyana. Named after Magic from Marvel. That's as high as I got. Some dragon information for those of you who want to stop and read it. Now over here, Watchtower stuff. Now for the dragon, they give me a list, but everything else is not necessarily behind a paywall. I can obtain this with gold, which is why I said gold is pretty valuable in this game. Back down here, we're going to take a look at the quests. There's a daily quest, which changed, and some weekly events that's up top, those 3 chests. But these differ. A lot of them are the same, but a few of them do change. And daily jobs, I can have as many as I want of these, but it takes a while. Depending on your VIP, you can actually wind up waiting to complete those things. Otherwise, you can immediately do them. Using my achievements that I didn't make, all the ones that I did make don't show. I already got awarded for them. So, yeah. And I get different things for that. We're going to go to items next and look at all my speed ups. Speed ups is a very important thing to have in this game, or else you're going to be waiting quite a bit to get things done. And in this case, most of that is marching. Silver is very important to train and in some cases revive your troops. It depends on the event. You can use it to revive your troops. Food to train. I always have more food than I need. I used to randomly give it to my teammates via caravan. Lumber used in combination with stone and iron to build. Now, all these items in the city, they're not used now because this is like stockpiles, and the warehouse only holds so much. If you don't want it stolen from you, you want to keep it stockpiled like this, because eventually my bubble's gonna pop on my kingdom, and my kingdom is going to be less vulnerable. By now, it's absolutely vulnerable, and people are going to attack it for its resources. These things are all self-explanatory. VIP points for the VIP section. Watchtower for, the Watchtower. Shield of Peace to keep you protected. Experience points and Valor points are your points for the Academy, and so is Conquest, and obviously all these things that you see here. Pretty self-explanatory. It's best to not use it unless you really need it. And in some cases, some of these things you get in such stock that you apply it. It never expires. Or dragon coins. Teleporting portals to different kingdoms, different islands. all this tar for your crypt exploring. Two big team events. So now we're going to check out the map. This is where I was last located along with my teammates, my alliance. The red border is an opposing opposing alliance border, and the blue one's ours. And wherever some of these alliance buildings are placed, it creates this kind of a border. As you can see, it doesn't always touch, and it's almost round. It really depends. You can't place teleporters in another team's boundary, but you can in yours. So this is the rest of Kingdom 264, which I moved to about 2 months before I wound up quitting. I came from one of these other ones. I don't even remember. There's lots of them. So back to my little land. This is the current epic monster for the Olympus, and those are the rewards you could get from fighting him. This is my team. Now I will show you how to properly stack this. That's the opposing team. So first I'm going to make sure that I got all the right equipment. This is a hero only battle, so I'm going to transfer my equipment to my hero. In other cases you have a single captain, and in some cases you have all the captains, and in another case you have all your captains and a hero. This particular epic monster, you take just your hero to fight. So I'm going to apply my best armor. When I'm done with this, I'm going to make sure that my stacks of troops are according to the formula necessary. I believe I already had it set, which is why I didn't bother double checking it. Mercenaries are expendable and they're cheap to resurrect, so yeah, let's speed this up. As you can see, other players fight this thing. They take away from the dragon tree. The dragon tree is like the health. I mean, it's still something that you feed your dragon, but essentially, it's kind of like the health. So the lower that is, the better of a chance. The best of an opportunity would be to hit the epic monster, because you have more of a chance of defeating more of the epic monster's troops and getting better experience and better valor and whatever else is involved reward wise. When the epic monster has smaller stacks, my stacks of troops do better damage. So I finally hit. If I were to have gained enough experience to level up, it would have showed there, but I didn't. These are all my defeated / dead troops, which is everybody. As you can see, it's either use potion or use gold. Using gold is not something you want to do for reviving, especially for the guardsmen. The guardsmen, you don't want to revive with any of those, actually. It's cheaper to kill off your guardsmen and to revive them with silver, and that's what I received for that fight. I could have received more if the basilisk was hurt more, and I would have received less if I rushed it. This is people, I can't imagine actually read all these things. I'm going to do a quick scroll through. If you really, really, really want to read it all, you could slow down this video dramatically, because this goes pretty far down. The fights are in waves. If the epic monster has 4 stacks of troops, we each take turns. Doesn't matter. I mean, it kind of matters, but it's kind of random who hits who first. So let's say they'll hit me first, then I'll hit them, and this will go on for 4 turns. And then since I would have extra stacks of different troops, all those other people will hit without the epic monster being able to hit me back. And then after I've finished with all my attacks, we start over. So that's why you want to have as many different troops as possible. So let's go back to my kingdom. And I could revive anywhere. I could revive in that previous thing if I want. Let's claim all this. That's for my dragon. That's for that Pharaoh event. I'll show you what that looks like. These are practically the same. Gold is a good thing to get. Too bad it's not going to make a difference. There's some more Pharaoh points. That's from defeating troops. That's for gaining scrolls. The Basilisk event itself gives me rewards, trophies, and scrolls for that, so I could pick up some rewards through the Olympus. Now I should revive some of my troops so I can get some of the potion or whatever it's called that I need to increase the star value of my captains. And you get that during that event. Trial of Pursuit, I think it's called. So I did my monsters and my mercenaries, and now I'm going to kill off the rest of my guardsmen, because like I said before, it's actually cheaper to retrain them than to use my reviving. And now look, see, oh, immortal essence, that was close. So here are my chats. Self-explanatory. Teammates can be pretty funny. Some private chats. Now this is Carter. He is the guy to use for crypting. And notice he's got a lot of very good crypting stuff, as well as gems and enchantments on top of his armor. So he's pretty decked out. And I'm gonna send him on a quick crypt exploration so you can see what kind of things I can get when I do crypt. I'm only gonna do one crypt. There are 3 different kinds. There's epic, there's rare, and there's normal. I'm gonna go for epic. Rare requires a key, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, so now that he's explored that real quick, it's fast, just like that, this is what I got. Not bad. Now we're going to attack. First, I'm going to try to place a closer portal. And there's a little gap here where I can place a portal. So now we're going to attack the Arachne. That's what he's got, and I'm using my 3 captains who have already been decked out armor-wise. Now this is what I used to use in Excel, it's my spreadsheet. It's so much easier to do it this way because you can only have so much troop count, and if you base it on your troop count, then this automatically adjusts. Monster has its own count, but we base our attacks off of our guardsmen. Those are all the monsters and all the army. Now I don't use 4 rank 4 of or level 4 of my guardsmen, but as you can see at the bottom I have numbers worked out. So I plug in one number in my base and everything else adjusts. As you can see, one more look through. I never wind up using as many monsters. I never top off my monsters the way it shows because I just don't have the opportunity to do so. So I'm going to make some slight adjustments. That real quick. I'm only rushing it because I want to get this over with, this attack. Otherwise, you don't want to rush these on your epic monsters, as I explained to you earlier. Hercules is my front runner here, and spoilers, I'm not going to level up on any of them in this fight. Not bad. Minimal. A lot of these fights are mostly for whatever trophies I can get for the event, in this case, the Olympus. Sometimes it's not Olympus or Omen, and it's just a regular epic event, and it's a 2-day thing, and you acquire still trophies or tokens that get you down on a smaller reward list. So it is always reward based. That is it for my walkthrough of the game Total Battle. This is the exit. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please look out for my other videos.